said it on my show, and the thing is this. I don't think Michael Parsons has leverage. I don't think he has leverage. I think what Jerry Jones has shown him to be is an unbelievable businessman. He has the most profitable organization, sports organization in the world, Craig, in the world. So when you're talking about that type of business tactic, what Micah Parsons has done has said, hey, I'm holding out. You know what? I'm going to demand a trade. Okay, cool. I'm going to add something else in there. Well, Jerry Jones has said, he's showing his hand on the Stephen A. show. Hey, we got you for 3 years, meaning we can franchise tag you for 2 of those years. You're still under contract this year if we really want to be petty. Now, the question is, we've seen what Jerry Jones is capable of doing. We've seen it with Emmitt Smith. We've seen it with Ezekiel Elliott. We've seen it with a plethora of players. Now, the question really comes down to Micah Parsons. Do you got it in you to really stand on business, as we call it? You dig what I'm saying? Because if you hold out, cool. Now, the thing about it, holding out still comes back down to the number one key in all of business. What's your leverage? And I don't think Micah Parsons has a lot of leverage in this case to demand what he's willing to ask for.
Well, let's be specific about this. He doesn't have leverage at the moment. He will if he sits out game 1, game 2, and they lose it because their defense stinks. He'll have a little bit of leverage then. Jerry Jones has been in that place before. Right. Emmitt Smith, 1993. Rushed for 1,700 plus yards in the previous season. Led the league in touchdowns with 18. Dallas wins the Super Bowl. Jerry Jones holds out and don't want to sign him. They lose game 1. They lose game 2. Then Jimmy Johnson, the coach at the time, losing his damn mind, comes into the post-game conference and just throws up his hands, never says a word, just throws up his hands in complete frustration because the world knew he needed his running back in order to repeat. And then Jerry Jones succumbed and signed Emmitt Smith. And if you go back to the footage of that press conference, you will never see somebody look more ticked off after signing a record deal than Emmitt Smith looked that particular day because he was like, why the hell did it have to come to this? In Micah Parsons' case, it's a different animal. And he's talking about business. So let's take it to a business conversation. The Dallas Cowboys are worth $12.8 billion, tops in the league. More than $2 billion worth than the next franchise, which I believe is the Los Angeles Rams, a little over $10 billion. Not only that, Jerry Jones personally is worth over $16 billion. Here's where it gets sketchy for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is going to be 83 years of age in October. Jerry Jones has been negotiating deals since his early 20s. Micah Parsons is 26. When you had the conversation with him in March, it's 25. He's 25 years of age. Jerry Jones was negotiating 40 years before Micah Parsons was conceived. Why are you acting like a conversation, you, the astute, adroit businessman that you are, why are you acting like a conversation with a football player is tantamount to a negotiation while ignoring his agent, who's considered one of the best in the business? Now it gets tricky because if you're in the situation, Jerry is resolute and stubborn in this position because according to him, he told me that Micah Parsons called him and said, don't call me no more, call my agent. And Jerry Jones said, I don't play that bleep. That's what he said. Now, he might have a point if Micah Parsons started the negotiations and then turned around and called them. But if Micah Parsons was just thinking he's having a conversation about leadership and you turned it into a contract negotiation and then you turn around and try to act like that's a negotiation and use that as leverage against them, at some point in time, whether it's the NFLPA, whether it's the league office or anybody else, it has to rain down upon them like, yo, you can't do that. The brother's got representation. It's a different and bigger issue that can't be ignored. But if you're Micah Parsons, you got $24 million you're owed to this year. You don't want to lose $1 million a game because you don't want to play. But if you miss the first 2 games, considering how awful I expect the Dallas Cowboys defense to be, I think that he will have some leverage if he sits out the first 2 games. If he doesn't, you're right, he has no leverage.
So when you're bringing up these type of facts and statistics, it is cool, and you have to think about this. My leverage tactic is with Micah Parsons that he doesn't have, that Emmitt had. Emmitt had no contract.
Right.
Micah Parsons is on his last year of his contract. So if we're talking business here, you're still under contract.
That's
you
right.
see what I'm saying?
Which is what Jerry Jones said.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
So if we're having this type of debate to say, okay, what is your leverage? What's your leverage tactic? Everybody's going back and forth. Everybody's throwing mud and slinging this and that and the third. I'm saying to myself, okay, cool. Jerry Jones, he's been doing this since inception. That's all he knows is business. Micah Parsons is in a situation where it's like, okay, I got to do something now. And you would hope, you would hate, but you would hope that he has something if he holds out. I mean, we've seen him on a training table, you know.
Eating nachos. Let's not forget that.
That's cool.
Okay.
But that's his way of saying, hey, I have to get a deal and I want to get a deal.
Before we move on, yes or no, does he start week 1?
Yes.
Stephen A?
No.
Does he start week 1? Oh, they're saying no.
I think he sits
I'm
out.
going with Norfolk State.
I think he's going too far. He sits out at least 1 week to send a message to see how Jerry reacts.
Let's talk about some college football here. We're 2 days away from the start of the Arch Manning era. Manning will be heading to Columbus as #1 Texas takes on the reigning national champions #3 Ohio State. Week 1 this Saturday. The Longhorns are listed as 1.5-point underdogs. This is the first time a #1 ranked team is an underdog in week 1 since '78. Cam.
Yep.
Do you agree with Ohio State being favored over Arch Manning in Texas for week 1?
Absolutely. Why? Because you have the best college football player on that team in Jeremiah Smith. You have the best receiving core on that team with Brandon Tate and, Brandon Ennis and Mr. Tate as well. Now, when you're looking at a situation here at Ohio State, they're in a great situation because they have returning veterans. When you look at Caleb Downs in the secondary, when you look at the coach and Coach Day, like, they are the favorite, not for multiple reasons of the most talented team, but also it's a home game. Now, Arch is backed by the lineage of his last name, and that's great. Is he going to be a great player? We going to see. But when it comes down to week 1, if you lose this game, if I'm Texas, you're still good. If you lose this game, if you're Ohio State, you're or college football playoff implications when you have a season full of ahead of you.
Well, let's be specific. It does if you get your ass kicked. Now, if you're going to lose and it's a thriller, we all good. But don't tell me it ain't going to be held against you if you go out there and you get stomped. Getting stomped is a different animal. Here's what I will tell you. Just a question. I'm trying to figure out how the hell you the #1 team in the nation and you coming into the game as an underdog. You either #1 or you're not.
Make it.